I'm here to bring a new plan for the Chicago Bears that I don't think anyone has talked about yet. What if Chicago keeps Justin Fields, trades back the number 1 multiple times, trades back the number 9 a time or two, but still takes a quarterback in the first round? While quarterbacks, wide receivers, and running backs report to the combine today, which is really exciting, there could be a new plan in place after seeing today's talent. You have quarterbacks reporting today like quarterback Nix from Oregon, McCarthy of Michigan, and Penix Jr. of Washington, along with them also throwing to guys like Malik Nabers, Odunze, Brian Thomas Jr., Keon, Coleman, and Xavier Legette. Those guys will all be showing off their skills of what they can do with the ball, especially the running back room as well, which is more of a luxury for the Chicago Bears because we can probably address that in free agency. We have bigger needs and running backs come every year. But there's guys at the combine this year like Braylon Allen of Wisconsin, Trey Benson of Florida State, and Audric Esteem from Notre Dame. It is by far the most exciting day of the combine, and I can't wait to break it down for you guys, especially the talent that I'm looking out for. But there could be a plan in place that Ryan Poles could shock the world and still get a ton of draft capital, still get a player of need, while also keeping Justin Fields and still taking a top quarterback. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to this episode of Just Another Year Chicago. My name is Nick Rody, and as always, thank you for tuning in. Today, I am going to run through what could happen if the Chicago Bears at the Combine change plans today while seeing the 3 separate groups and some of the top guys that they're going to be going through. And before I begin today's show, let's speak this into existence. If you want whatever trade happens, whether that be trading Justin Fields, the number 1 pick, the number 9, whatever, make sure to hit the like button on this video to show Ryan Poles, hey man, let's get this thing going. Let's get some excitement here. No, don't want to rush him, guys. Just kidding. But hit the like button on this video if you're excited for the combine and the offseason as a whole. Comment your thoughts on the master plan at the end of this video. And as always, write bear down. So let's start off with who's going to be the top of the 3 separate groups today. Starting with quarterback, Nix from Oregon is going to be one of the top guys, standing at 6'2", 217 pounds, and runs a 4.75 40 time before the combine. Has passed for 4,500 yards this last year with 45 passing touchdowns and only 3 interceptions for the Ducks. Had a QBR of 135.8, the best out of anyone besides Caleb Williams. And, his big strengths, pocket presence, great vision, mobile when needed, good no-look passes, and an accurate arm. Doesn't have the strongest arm out of the group, but overall a great quarterback and projected a late first pick. Then you have Penix Jr. from Washington, a 6'3", 213-pound, who runs a 4.64 40 time, passed for over 4,600 yards this past year with Washington for 35 touchdowns with 9 interceptions, a 111.8 QBR rating, a huge arm, makes plays under stress, reads defenses really well, and insanely accurate, was a Heisman finalist this past year as well. His injuries are what have, degraded him a little bit. He has been in college for a while. He is an older prospect at 23 years old, but still a projected mid-round first. Then you have McCarthy of Michigan, Chicago local kid. Keep that in mind for my master plan later. He stands at 6'3", 202, runs a 4.6 40 time. He passed for nearly 3,000 yards last year at Michigan with 22 passing touchdowns and only 4 interceptions. Had a 119 QBR, insane accuracy, great footwork, elite pocket presence, has increased his arm strength, and overall a good leader in the locker room. Obviously, Michigan did pretty darn well this past year, but a good player. And again, Chicagoland kid. Keep that in mind. Now let's go to the wide receiver group, who's going to be also showing up today with these quarterbacks, and starting with Malik Nabers of LSU, standing at 6 foot, 200 pounds, running a 4.4 40 time, caught over 1,500 yards this past year with 14 touchdowns for LSU. And his quarterback's QBR when targeted was 130.6. Strong, insane footwork. Reminds a lot of people of Deebo Samuel and DJ Moore. Elite downfield vision, a top 5 pick in the draft at the moment. I can see why. Then you have Odunze, who honestly is one of my favorites in the draft right now. 6'3", 215 pounds, runs a 4.37 40 time, had nearly 1,500 receiving yards last year with 13 receiving touchdowns. His quarterback's QBR when he is targeted is 121.9. Big-bodied wide receiver, great hands, fight for yard, red zone target, can do it all, insanely athletic, and is sitting in the top 10 at the moment. Then you have Brian Thomas Jr., another big-body wide receiver at 6'4", 205, runs a 4.47 40 time with almost 1,200 receiving yards and 17 touchdowns last year for the Tigers. His quarterback's QBR when he is targeted is 143.2, the top out of this group. Big-bodied wide receiver as well. Fast, great hands, fights for yards. I think that he'd be a top 5 wide receiver if it wasn't for Malik being in front of him at LSU. But he's projected top 20 because obviously there's other teams that have other key areas of need, and he could fall back. Keep that in mind too. That quickly, Keon Coleman from Florida State University, 6'4", 215, runs a 4.4540. Had a little less than 700 receiving yards this past year for Florida State due to injuries, but 11 receiving touchdowns. His quarterback's QBR when he's targeted is 110, another big body wide receiver, and a projected early to mid-second round pick. Could be something if we do a trade back. And then my favorite sleeper out of them all, Xavier Legette out of South Carolina, 6'2", 225 pounds, runs a 4.29 40 time, a little over 1,250 yards this past year for South Carolina with 7 receiving touchdowns, 122.2 QBR for his quarterbacks when he's targeted. Great hands, difficult to take down, elite route running, fast. This guy could be a huge steal, and he's projected 3rd rounder at the moment. So I know I said I was going to hit on running backs today, but I'm not, because that's more of a luxury. Again, I'll do a video on them as time goes on, especially when we get closer to the draft. And also make sure you listen to my mock drafts. I do a running back usually every single time. But I want to get into this master plan I was hitting at. We know that a lot of great quarterbacks currently in the NFL as of late have sat behind other great quarterbacks, and they have succeeded because they learned the game properly. They weren't rushed, they were mentored, and also they were thrown into a good situation that gave them good confidence. Well, what if Chicago does that? Which I honestly don't think they have. They didn't do it with Mitchell Trubisky. They didn't do it with Justin Fields. And I named the guys above, all great players. But the combine today could cause this plan to go into place. Because if Chicago thinks that a non-Caleb Williams type quarterback can ball out and do exactly what they need the team to do, and playing at that same level, along with getting him the best target possible with, a top pick, this could get wild. So let's do some trade backs in this master plan. The first one I'm doing is I did this in a video not even a day ago, sending the number 1 of Washington for the number 2, number 36, number 67, and defensive tackle Jonathan Allen. The second trade that I'm going to do is I'm going to send the number 2 to the New England Patriots and get the number 3, the number 60, a 25 first, and a 25 second. Finally, then in the third trade I'm going to do, I am trading not the number 3, but the number 9 back to the Minnesota Vikings. Yes, an interdivision trade, and getting the number 11, the number 42, and a 25 third. Interdivision, I know, but Minnesota absolutely needs to move up for a quarterback. They can't afford to lose Justin Jefferson. They need to get someone that he can build a relationship with now. And also putting a quarterback in there like Bo Nix, who's been linked to the Minnesota Vikings a lot, could be a big deal. And also Minnesota could do the trade, and then Chicago could agree with it. And then with all that, at number 11, I'm taking JJ McCarthy out of Michigan. Foles loves his hometown kids. That's why I said keep that in mind for later. And McCarthy's stats in leadership and what he did with Michigan this past season obviously show that he's a great quarterback. Wouldn't mind Michael Penix Jr. either. I think he could be gone at 11 though, but JJ McCarthy I think is a lock at 11. Could be great. We still get a ton more picks later in the draft to address the rest of key areas of need. You still get Marvin Harrison Jr. at number 3, guys, so he has a good target to throw to. Overall, fantastic. And keep this in mind. I didn't trade Justin Fields. So Justin Fields is able to sit in front of JJ McCarthy. McCarthy's able to learn from him, develop, and all of that. I think this is crazy. I know it's Saturday. I hope you guys are having a great day. But overall, why not? Why not the Bears? Put your thoughts in the comment section below. Again, please like this video. It helps more than you know. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And as always, bear down, baby.